Okay, good morning everyone, and welcome to our second session of business research. And today, what we're gonna cover, let me give some light on that. So this is second session, and here you can see a very important points we're gonna discuss. When you think of business, what are the different challenges? And these challenges, these issues, these problems actually becomes research opportunities, right? One real research opportunity which I have been facing since last 2 or 3 days, I will discuss with you. Then we will jump to the second ingredient of our discussion, that would be what are the scope of business research. If you are in marketing, you need to work in marketing only, or you can add another domain, another dimension also into marketing, right? If you are working in finance, so your focus should be only in finance, or you can bring some other domain also in finance or HRM. Next, very important thing, from your examination point of view, you need to define business research. So that definition we're gonna cover. And then we need to know systematically, scientifically, what should be the right research, what should be the process of a right research, and what should be the main ingredients of a good research. So that we will discuss what is good research. And finally, very important thing, when you think of a research, when you think of a business institution, business organization, um, you have two options. If you are very good, you can have your own research team, you can have your own house research department. If you are not so good, what you need to do, you need to outsource this kind of things. There are a lot of consultancy organization. So I have been facing another challenge nowadays. So that would be, should I continue with my own research whenever I think of submitting any project to ICSSR, DST or UGC, or should I go and outsource it? So I will take your help, everybody. So two different problems we're gonna discuss today. One would be, that is the real problem for me. You all will guide me. Should I continue with my own research, or should I go and outsource the proposal and submit it to DST, right? The first, before that, when we'll talk about research opportunities or business challenges, I'm going to give you a real example. So welcome back, and once again, thank you very much for joining today. And here we are with session 2, business research. And in the last session, I hope you all remember, we had discussed business research concept, and we had discussed a little bit about the process also. So one by one, let me move further. And here, this is the in continuation to our last discussion, we have 4 points. You remember, we discussed about business research, but if I request you to find out, to note down different challenges in a business, different issues in a business, because if you don't find any problem or a issue in a business, then there is no need to conduct a research. Nowadays, there is a change in the mindset of University Grant Commission, ICSSR or DST. Now they say that whatever research you conduct, it should have some kind of solution to real problem. Now, as a researcher, you need to do a research, you need to conduct a research. Just for the sake of conducting research, you should conduct a research, or you should conduct a research to find out solution to the real problem. So here, for last 2 or 3 years, whatever project we submit to government, they have clearly mentioned in the guidelines that please find out a real problem which may be any business problem, maybe any commerce problem, maybe any management problem, maybe related with business functions or management functions, or If you find out a real issue nearby your community, nearby your office, so that would be really great, because if you go and support to local locality, local people nearby your institution, it will boost their confidence. It will give them some confidence, and it will build a trust also in the local community, local society, because we are surviving here, we are here because of the local society, right? So they have mentioned in their guidelines that whatever research you go for, you need to find out real problem, real issue. Your research should not be just for the sake of research or to get MPhil or MCom or PhD. So please try to find out solution to real problems. So here you can see what are the real challenges, what are the real issue nowadays we are facing. The first, here you can see it's very general, how, where, and what to produce. It has been for many years very common concept, common question, that where to produce, how to produce, what to produce, how to make product different from others. This is very simple concept. I hope you all understand. Now comes very important thing, which is a very difficult task. You can continue with the same business, you can continue with the same product, goods or services, but here it would be a big challenge for you how to innovate. When you think of innovation, you feel it would be different design, different color, different shape. What should be there in innovation? Is it a new technology? Or is it that people, they would be able to use the same resources with different techniques, or will be able to produce the same process with some other technology, with other tools and techniques. So how to innovate, invent a new product, how to make supply chain more effective to minimize the cost. So I hope you remember we had discussed one example of one boy who was from Hyderabad, not from Hyderabad, Bangalore, and he passed out from IIT Kanpur, and he came back after that 4-year degree, and he was looking for a job. So as usual, when you are free, you have a lot of work to do because your mother, your father, they are after you, to do something. Not only parents, but your relative, your friends, they all are after you, that you have done your master degree or MBA, or you did your degree from IIT. What you are looking for, what you are doing. So you are in lot of pressure, you are in lot of stress. So he decided to start a business, and the business concept came from one issue, one problem, that his mother, she was after him to go every day to the market and buy fresh fruits and vegetables. And buying fresh fruits and vegetable in the Bangalore, I mean, he used to go to retail shop, and at retail shop you will see the cost is very high, and you don't get fresh fruits and vegetables. So this was a real issue, this was the real problem, and you wouldn't believe, he designed and developed a concept of supply chain. And recently I saw one article in a newspaper that Walmart has invested in that business, and the business name is ninjacart.com. A big huge success in supply chain, because supply chain, innovation in supply chain, it's very difficult task, very difficult task. So he understood the basic concept and brought the concept of technology into the basic concept, that is collecting all produce from farmers at 8 p.m. every day, bringing at collection center between 12 to 1 o'clock in the midnight, and before 6 o'clock bringing all the produce to the retail shop. So at 7 o'clock, when the consumer or customer come to buy, they will be getting fresh fruits and vegetables. And what he did, he minimized the cost, because there was no middleman in between. There was no mandi, there was no Azadpur mandi or anyone in between. No agent were there, so he minimized the cost. So this is what you need to find out: real issue, real situation, and then try to find out solution with the help of innovation. And here you can see how to make prospective customer aware. Another concept of a research, another business research problem. Here you can see how to make prospective customer aware about their product, how to understand and predict consumer behavior. I mean, this is the most typical task on this earth. Why people behave in such a manner, why do they react and act in a such a certain manner? You can't find it. It's just like next to impossible. But now we have a technique, now we have a technology, even we have a such kind of technology that you can read individual behavior, even you can read the eyeball movement. Do you know that? So we have advanced technology with some software. When you open a newspaper, so which side first you look at, right? Which color attract your eyes? Or suppose next time when you go to mall, so which color actually attract you? From which side to which side your your eyeball moves? So up to such extent people have conducted a research. In USA, when you come to any mall, they had made a such kind of study. When you enter into a mall, what should be first over there? First should be a grocery, fruits, vegetables, or something else, right? And then you move little bit ahead, what should be there, and at the end what should be there. So up to such extent, this is, they want to understand, they want to see what consumer will see, how their eyes ball move, what color they like or dislike, which color attract them. So up to such extent we have conducted a research. So this kind of experiment we have made. Here I remember another case where we talk about Pepsi and Coca-Cola. I mean, long time back there used to be a one soft drink company. A company name was Coca-Cola, and Coca-Cola was so big, they were like selling 1 lakh bottle every day. On the other side there was another company, Pepsi. Pepsi was very small, just selling 100 bottle every day. So on the one side you can see a big elephant selling 1 lakh bottles of soft drink. On the other side it's like mouse, Pepsi, which is just selling 100 bottles. So here, I mean, you can't spend huge money on because you're a very small tiny company, you can't spend money on advertisement. So as a researcher, what you should do to compete with elephant? And at that time Pepsi did it with some survey. They made a survey just to find out whether people like the taste of Pepsi or Coca-Cola, right? And finally they observed that approximately on an average 80% to 85% people like the taste of Pepsi than the Coca-Cola. And then they took another initiative that we will talk in future if we have chance. So here why we are discussing this, because you need to find out some issue, like a boy who was from Bangalore, studied from IIT Kanpur, came back and started that business. Here consumers, sometimes consumer, they don't understand what is their like, what is their dislike. So we need to predict that, okay, on the basis of our research we realize that consumer would be taking this kind of decision, because now we understood. For example, if you think of banking sector, they want to be in touch with the consumer, and they have one tool or technique you all aware of, eCRM, right? So now if physically if you go to SBI, you will see a lot of hue and cry, right? Whenever I visit SBI, I mean, it's like it's a horror scene, right? They have made my life horrible. I don't want to go to SBI. Now go to private bank. There you will feel that a person will come to you, may I help you, sir? What would you like to have? So this is what, how do you serve the customer? Because generally in marketing we say customer is a king. So we need to work on this, that you need to predict what consumer will like, and finally we give them some value proposition so that we can win the consumer trust. And then here you can see the another concept of issues or problem. Researchers across the globe are interested in finding answer to these type of questions. To answer these interesting questions, two important things are required: data and explanation of data. So what is important for us? Now each and every company, just think of a big company in India, this or not in India, the whole world, the whole universe. The company is number one because they have maximum data. And I'm talking about not another company, talking about Google. Google is number one because they have a data, right? And how do they explain this data? They interpreted this data that these many people, I mean, they buy this, they have this kind of profile, they have this kind of characteristics. So these big firms, they are big because they have data and they are able to explain that data to find out the solution. So I hope this is just one perspective of a business, but you can now this is one domain only, right? So you can think of other domain, another business opportunities. So real one I can share with you before I move further. So this is a part of what we are discussing: how to make the entire value chain and other process more effective and efficient, and how to maximize their profit, how to extend the product life cycle, how to recruit and select the right person for the right job, and motivate them to get work done from HRM, right? So before I jump to a next one, let me tell you the real challenge in a business which I have been facing. It's linked with how to make entire value chain and other process more effective and efficient, right? Let me give you one real example. Because from Monday onwards we have some kind of semester break in my own institution. So I decided that for last 2-3 years we are not able to go out. So this time we decided to go to one place. I wanted to book this everything online, and they say that if you want to use Safari, Jungle Safari, you need to book online. So I saw the main website. So the main website, it looked like it's a government website, but actually it was not. So I was searching for the original government website, and finally I called them up that, sir, which is your website? Then they said, this is our website, and if you go on a Google, if you search, you will not find our website because private organization, private website. I mean, I don't know what kind of SEO or what kind of structure or what kind of link they have with the Google search engine. We don't understand, but this is our website, and you can book online. So I said, okay. So private organization, they were charging 4,000 rupees. And today in the morning, they open their portal, especially I'm talking about government, they open their portal after 14 or 15 days, and they give you permission to book your entry to Jungle Safari, right, after each and every 15 days. So you can book for next 15 days, but that comes after 15 days. I wanted to go on Monday, and they open today only at 10 a.m. and when I click on it, I mean, everything disappear, because I don't know what kind of mechanism this private or other organization have. They all book and they charge 4,000, but when you pay to government online, it's 1,000 rupees only. So I was scratching my head. Oh my God, on the one side 1,000 rupees if you directly buy Safari from government. If you go to private, they charge 4,000, 5,000 rupees. And if you want to book online, you can't book, because I don't know what kind of mechanism, what kind of software they have. They book everything, and person like me can't book. So what I need to do, I need to pay 4,000 rupees to have that Safari in that area. So I was looking for this business problem. This is a real problem, that it may be that government over there, the tourism department, they understand this challenge, this issue, this problem, but nobody has taken any initiative to find out solution to this problem. But how to tackle it? Should it be physically you go and buy a ticket? or I saw one very important in variable in that website, that whosoever is booking that ticket, you need to upload your photo. Right? That thing was there. Then how anyone can, or the agent can buy? I was curious about it, so I decided to do some research on this. So I will be making some research how these agents they go and book ticket, and I will suggest government that okay, these are the issue. I mean, the common man cannot access your website when they supposed to buy ticket, they supposed to book ticket. The agent they take away all the tickets and they sell it 4 times cost, 4 times price. Right. So this was a one challenge which I have been facing for last 2 or 3 days, and I was very upset. I don't know what solution I will be having. The solution would be I need to pay 4,000 instead of 1,000. Right. But I would be doing some research. This is very basic research, but a solution, because you should not have a profit at the cost of other. You cannot block everything just for the sake of that few person will have more profit at the cost of the travelers or the tourist. It happens in other area also, I know, but I remember when we used to go and watch movie, there used to be a full box, what do we call full box, or what do we call it, I don't know. So box full, full box, something like that. So we used to buy ticket in black, right? But now things has changed. Even a train ticket, air tickets, right? You can buy, you can select your seat, even you can buy your select your seats. So you can find out a real issue, real problem in business. This was just one instance, one case I thought I should discuss with you. So here you can see different business research issues and problem linked with production, linked with marketing, linked with HRM. And what is important when you think of any question, real problem in business research, what you need to have data and explanation of data. So here data play a very important role. If you have a data, you can describe, you can explore, you can predict, and finally you can make some experiment, and it will give you some kind of solution. It will give you some kind of understanding that what is this, why this is so, and how does it work. Right, everybody? So let us move next. Very important thing what we're gonna discuss now. What are the different domain, what are the different dimensions where we can apply business research? So that will come under scope of business research. So here you see business research is designed for managerial and business functions such as marketing, financing, human resource, production, business intelligence system. So now you understand what are the different domain or functions of business. So before you go for anything, you should have money. You should know how to advertise it, how to make people aware about this, right? Who gonna work for this? We need human resource. So what we gonna produce in production, and all should have some kind of coordination with the help of technology. We call it business intelligence system. So this is a basic understanding as far as scope of business research is concerned. Then here you can see the main business research forms are as follows. First, market research. So the case of Pepsi and Coca-Cola was the excellent case of market research, where one boy from Pepsi, he wanted to know whether people like the taste of Coca-Cola or Pepsi. So he made a research, he made a market research. On the basis of the market research observation, he came to a conclusion that there is no problem if people or if there is no, I mean there is no problem if Coca-Cola is selling 1 lakh bottle, but actually people like the taste, they prefer Pepsi than Coca-Cola. Then we have our operation research. So market research is about human behavior, if you want to know their behavior as an individual or in a group. Then second, we have our operation research. That means how to make your work more efficient and effective, right? and that is possible when you're gonna have minimum cost, minimum efforts, and have maximum benefit. So which activity you should bring into your main domain, which activity you should take out so that your operation can be smooth. And somewhere with the operation research we have another concept called supply chain research. As I mentioned, supply chain is a very difficult kind of domain because you will have very few innovations, especially in India. We use traditional method of production, traditional method of logistics, traditional method of traveling, traditional method of warehousing, right? Traditional method of supply chain, traditional method of distribution. Then we are into consumer behavior research, motivation research, social marketing, and business analytics. So business analytics is another domain where we will use some advanced software to understand, for example, Google search engine operation, right? So that we will talk about organic SEO or paid SEO, right? So that we will discuss further, because whenever you want to know anything, where do you go? You go to Google. So you write on a Google search engine. Suppose I want to go to maybe Goa, right? So what you will write? Will you write Goa, or would you like to have accommodation in Goa, or what you write? Hotels in Goa. That you will write. So we'll see when you click on that, what option you get. The starting 5, 6, 7 option would be AD, advertisement. Then you will see the organic one. So if you want to put your advertisement, if you want to tell everybody, hey, this product I have, this services I can offer. So how does this analytic work when we talk about organic? How does this advertisement work when we talk about business analytics? So not only in this, there are different social marketing tools, techniques we have. We will discuss them a little bit, right? Then we can see here, business research covers the information and knowledge about the organization, market, economy, and business uncertainty to fulfill its objective of assisting in managerial decision making. I remember last time someone said, it's when you think of business research, it's about researching the environment, because ultimately environment gonna impact you, because you are an integral part of the environment. And unfortunately, note down everybody, you can't control the environment, you can't manage the environment. What you need to do, you need to mold, you need to fold yourself as per the environment. It's very difficult to bring change in the environment, right? There may be a cases like if you come to Rishikesh, when you enter 10 kilometer before the main city of Rishikesh, or 15 kilometer before the main city of Rishikesh, there is a place on the right side. You will see there is a big company, and this company is approximately 45-year-old. And this company, it's a pharmaceutical company, IDPI, in Rishikesh. And the company started their production with they used to produce one special kind of medicine, capsule, and one tablet. And at that time, the capsule and tablet was costing 10 paisa and 15 paisa respectively. Now one multinational company, they wanted to enter into Indian market, but they were not able to compete with the price, because this price was very low. So what they did, they had a one option, that somehow manage the local government or a central government, and do something so that we can stop the working of this IDPI in Rishikesh. So in 1985, government took a decision to stop this company. So this company was actually owned by company at that time, owned by government. So still the employees of that company, they get paid, they get their pension and salary. But after 85, there was no production of tablet and capsule. So in that case, that multinational company was able to corrupt people at that time, those who were in government, and the government finally took a decision that this company will not work. I don't know what was the reason, but if you get a chance to visit this company, you can visit. They have their own dispensary, they have their own school, they have their college. I mean, all facilities within one particular, area, one premises. The big area, big premises. So here, but we can't think like this. But now you will see that a lot of multinational company, they are big, like a big economy of a particular country. So they try to manage the policy, they try to manage the local rules and regulation. But we are not talking about that. We are talking about that it would be very difficult for us to control the environment, right? So we need to conduct a research that how we can take benefit whatever rules regulation we have legally, right? So that is also part of business research. Then marketing, a process of efficiently promoting a new product for existing and new potential customer will depend on available information or techniques to collect such information. So this is all about data, because already in last slide you have seen we have been talking about that whatever we have, if we don't have data, we don't know how to explain that data, we can't work, we can't do any research, right everybody? Now, like marketing, we have finance also. Financials of a company shall be impacted by factor like return on investment, cost minimization, procurement of fund, utilization of fund, and others. So in finance, if you remember when you study finance in your 11th grade or maybe in college, there were three objectives: procurement, how to utilize, and finally how to pay back, that is a dividend or other things. So you need to use all financial, these three objectives in efficient and effective manner. Fully optimize, utilize these three different functions of a finance. Here you can see another scope, another domain. The study of these factors shall be based on available information or data, as we already have mentioned. We are talking about finance. So here data is important. And here you can see human resource, on the other hand, consider factor like methods to minimize employees turnover, need of training and development program for the employees. So it's a part of a human resource. So human resource has become a challenge. Now let me take 2 minutes on human resource, because for example, we want to know the employees performance and employees engagement, two variables, and you want to study which among these two gonna affect the other. So will it be like this, that if you engage more and more employees engage, the performance of the employees would be increased, right? This could be one. It could be other way around also. The performance of employees will help employees to engage themselves more in that production or office work. So I'm not sure which one would be dependent and which one would be independent. But here, if I ask you that, okay, if we have these two variables, do you feel that employees engagement will help in the employees performance in an organization? So in HRM, we are talking about employees engagement, employees performance with one intervention which is called training and development. And ultimately what we are doing, we are trying to understand human psychology. So when you think of a doctor, suppose, who is the best doctor? Who knows his patient well or who knows his medicine well? And then we have talked about human resource. Now it's about production that deals with significant question like how much, where, when to produce, what should be specific color, design, quality, quantity, online, offline. I mean, lot of things are there. So we need to find out solution. We need to find out answer to this. Now come to next very important thing, because it would be important from your examination, and conceptually we need to understand, because whatever I am saying, it may be on the basis of whatever I have research, whatever I have learned. But you need someone who could give you in writing that this is business research. So here we have two experts. So here you see one definition by S. Srijesh. He has written a very wonderful book on research. So I have taken just two examples. Here you can see very simple thing. You can read it. Market research aims at understanding and examining the marketplace in which the company operates. Right? Very simple definition. We want to understand what? All stakeholders, all dimensions, all domain, and not only understand, we want to examine them. Right? So we operate where? We operate in an environment. We operate in an atmosphere where we have different stakeholders. We get impacted because of different variables surrounding in the surrounding area, and they get affected because of our presence. You remember the Coca-Cola case in Kerala? There was a lot of hue and cry because local people, local community, they say that when Coca-Cola came here, the water level was this much, and they have taken out all the water, they have consumed all the water from the earth, and the water level has come up to this level. So the local community, they sue the Coca-Cola, and then Coca-Cola, they stop their work, and finally they requested the local community and government, please give us 2 or 3 years, we will put back whatever water we have taken out from this particular area. And they did it, and they showed the process that this is the process, water harvesting, and give us 2 years, we will put all water in this particular area, because we have taken out all the water from this particular area. So this is what you need to be responsible towards the local community, local society, local people, because you are an integral part of that particular society. Now here question arises, you all aware of one concept called corporate social responsibility. That is also a very emerging area which has been there in a lot of PhD and MPhil work, that people conduct a lot of research on this. Now nobody, I have seen that research, nobody is able to answer why actually company they donate, right? Why company indulge in this activity where they're supposed to donate money or do some social activity. So there must be some reason behind that. We need to explore it, and a lot of people, they have conducted such kind of research. They explore it, why companies should donate, why should they enter into this kind of domain where we talk about philanthropy. So is it because it's a mandatory by government? A long time back, just think of Kirodimal College. Kirodimal College was named after Mr. Kirodimal, and 60 years back he had been running more than 300 institutions. Can you believe it? 300 institutions he was running free of cost. Dharamshala, hospitals, schools, colleges. At that time there was no law, there was no government pressure, there was no government law to invest money such like this, but he did it. And fortunately, whenever I go, you go to Haridwar, you go to other places, you will see still that Dharamshala and these places are working. Why did he invest that money? Why did he invested this money in community development, social development? So there must be one reason. So when we explore, we find out reason that, okay, this was the reason. The reason was that one psychological reason was that after death, we want that our name must be there. So in our college, his daughter donated that college to Delhi University. So we are part of Delhi University. And here what happens, he said that I'm going to donate this to Delhi University, but you will never ever change the name of this college, right? This was just one condition. He put one condition, that you will never ever change the name of this college. He wanted this in return. So, and as far as our culture, as far as our society is concerned, why do we donate money in India and why do people donate money in USA? So different culture, concept remains same, but motive is different. In USA, someone made a research on this topic, why do people donate money? So he came with a conclusion that in USA people donate money maybe because of their culture, maybe it is because of their religion, that it gives them happiness. Sometime, long time back in India also, someone conducted a research to find out why people donate in India. So in India, maybe because of culture or maybe because of religion, people donate money because they have, as per our religious books, one concept of death, and after death there is a life, and we call it hell or heaven. So people donate in India because everybody after death, they want to go to heaven, right? Second life should be in heaven, not in hell. So that was the main motive. So different now, maybe now if you conduct a research, story would be different, but here we are exploring why this is so, why a lot of companies invest money in corporate social responsibility. If you compare MNCs with public sector with private, then you will be able to understand why this. So the basic theory is legitimacy of an organization, presence of an organization in terms of legitimacy. So that we will talk in future. That is the basic theory behind donating money. Now here you see the business research. More, he has focused little bit more on this market research or business research. Business research is used to solve various operation and planning problems that arise in a business organization. These may include problems related to marketing, finance, HR, and manufacturing. The three major forms of business research are as follows: market research, which we already have discussed, second operation research, and then motivational research, right? So here you can see market research we already have discussed. Operation research involve use of mathematical, logical, and analytical methods to find optimal solutions to business problems, primarily used for forecasting demand, optimizing production, and finding the best investment options. And then finally here you can see motivational research involve analyzing the reasons and motives behind people's behavior to understand consumer behavior or employees behavior. So this is according to J. And here another definition by Jigmore: business research is the application of the scientific method in searching for the truth about business phenomena. And believe me, it's not an easy job to actually find out the truth. We, as a social scientist, we work from outside, we observe from outside, we want to close to real, but we are not actually explaining the real what is there, we don't understand that. So these activities include defining business opportunities and problems, generating and evaluating alternative course of actions, and monitoring employees and organizational problems. Now comes to next, because we have very less time. What is good research? So this is the last point of today's discussion. So let me see your response. What is good research? Let me see your response. Put in your chat box, or you can unmute your mic. What do you feel? What should be the good research? What are the ingredients of a good research? Here we have a different dimensions, variables, factors, which actually represent that these all ingredients must be there in your research, then your research would be a good research. So first, very simple thing you already have discussed, someone has already mentioned it: clearly define problems and objectives. Then second, you need to understand what is the scientific way of conducting a research, so that process you need to understand. And third, very obviously, it's very obvious and very important point, because now recently when you go for MPhil or PhD, UGC recently has introduced a subject called research and publication ethics, right? Because there is a lot of hue and cry, a lot of trouble, a lot of problem in research, a lot of malpractices prevailing. So government and UGC say that when you conduct a research, please make sure you are not going for this unethical practices. You're not following these unethical practices. So ethical standards, limitation of research. You can't do each and everything. You need to define some role. You need to define some variable. That these variable, because of cost and time limitation, we have these kind of limitation. Then sufficient data for analysis. What should be the number of respondent you need to consider for analyzing your research? Will it be 300, 400, 500, 1000, 10,000? What should be the number? So for that, and how you will select these number, so that we will discuss. So you should have systematic way of selecting data and sufficient number of data, and then whatever research outcome you have, research output you have, you need to represent it. You need to define it, that this is so, why this is so. So behind that, what are the reasons? Just to describe something is not sufficient. Why this is so, that we need it. We need to discuss it, and that is justifiable conclusion. Whatever conclusion you have, your role as a researcher would be, you need to justify each and every step of the process. Why this is so? Why did you take 500 data respondent? Why did you take this kind of sampling, right? So you need to justify each and everything. And then the good research would be, as I mentioned, you know your domain, you know your area, but you need to bring some interdisciplinary or some other subdomain into your research, because you may be master of your research, but you need to bring some other concept, other domain, so that other can take benefit from your research, and you also can get some other kind of new approach, and you can build on that. And finally, here you see desire to find out facts and to do things back. That is the ultimate goal. That is the ultimate goal. That may be in terms of value addition or addition to the existing knowledge, or new techniques, new way of doing something, different things. So that will remain there, right? So these are the different ingredients of a good research. Last thing, you can do research yourself, but now we have you can hire consulting firm, that we have this kind of issue, can you help us, and you need to pay for them. Similarly, like university professor, they take project from different institution and they conduct research. So a lot of organizations, they come to us that you do this kind of research for us, because they trust, they believe in professor and university, because university teacher, professor, they cannot be biased. So whatever they observe, they come out with whatever analysis they make, they come with true picture, and these organizations, they are looking for unbiased true picture they are looking for. So this is outsourcing. You know the benefit and cost of outsourcing. I'm not going to discuss it. Then we have that each and every organization, especially organization, business organization, they can have a separate department of research. So this is, but what they need, they should have understanding of research, how to conduct a research, and they should have people from all possible domain, those who can understand the problem issue. And now here what we have, what happened when you approach to university, in university what happened, you have people from science, you have people from commerce management, you have people from economics, you have people from all possible domains. So they work together and find out a solution. But it would be very difficult for a one organization. If they have been working in a one domain, that's then fine. You can have expert, you can have people, those who will be helping you in that particular domain. So here, either you can outsource research, or if you have your own housing research, that is absolutely fine. Both had their pros and cons. This was last point I thought I should discuss with you for today, session 2. And thanks very much everybody for joining today. And what we will do in next session, we will enter into research process, right? So for today, thank you very much, and let me come to you, let me stop this. And now if you have any question, you can raise your hand and you can ask question. So thank you very much for today, and we'll continue next week. Thank you very much.